Alright, so I'm going to do a quick vlog of just things that are on my mind right now. It's been a year since Obama was elected. A year ago, I was in Washington, D.C. Super thrilled, so excited that it seemed like our country was going to head in a completely new direction. And that's what the promises were, of course. And of course, none of them, quite honestly, have been delivered. And it's just so disappointing. I would have never guessed that we were at the place that we are right now. And I think that the Obama administration has failed miserably. I'm just shocked, you know. I mean, he's for one, he absolutely should get the Peace Prize, the Nobel Peace Prize, taken away from him, because, and I know exactly why he got that in the first place, is because a lot of the pacifists and the people on the panel in Europe that determined who gets the Nobel Peace Prize kind of wanted to control the direction of American foreign policy by giving the active president a Peace Prize because of all his promises. But with him and his surge in Afghanistan and not ending the Iraq War like he promised within 6 months, he changed that. He completely backed out of that, rationalized it in many different ways, and then hasn't moved all those prisoners out of Guantanamo yet. He keeps Blackwater and Halliburton and all those other contractors in Iraq and employs them all over the world. I mean, he should end the all contracts with Blackwater, which is now called ZXE, to sort of cover their tracks. But I mean, it's just ridiculous that he basically takes every single person that supported him on the grassroots level and above completely for granted. And this is because he gets terrible advice, and I don't know who has his ear most, but it's got to be Rahm Emanuel, got to be the Clintons. I mean, as soon as he brought the Clintons into his administration, he assimilated that. Actually, the Clintons assimilated him, and it's just ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. He got Bill Clinton on his side for Bill Clinton's Rolodex, but to get all these advisors, financially especially, like Geithner and all those, and basically continuing the same policies and the policies that actually caused the economic breakdown with deregulation and everything. I mean, to add those people for his financial advisors and to assimilate the Clintons, I mean, it's so ridiculous. And you can see the country hasn't improved at all. And they sit there and say, oh, we got all the progressive, we got all the liberals on our side, so let's broaden our camp and let's start placating to all the conservatives out there, and we'll grow even bigger. Well, look what happened in Massachusetts. I mean, Edward Kennedy's seat lost to a Republican in Massachusetts. And they think, oh, well, we need to get more conservative. Wrong. You completely took for granted the liberals and the progressives, and you uninspired everybody for being such a huge inspiration to now just crashing and basically get out the vote is zero for the progressives and liberals now because of the placation and the taking of granted of our vote, and thinking that you're going to start compromising dramatically with the conservatives and basically adopting their resolutions and the healthcare and everything else. I mean, you destroyed so much. You've failed so much. The Obama administration has failed so dramatically. It's ridiculous, and it's got to be because of his advisors. He's getting, I mean, if he trusted his gut and he actually got some good progressive advisors on his team, it would be completely different. But he takes the ear of these individuals. I mean, he empowers Joseph Judas Lieberman, and by giving him basically bending over backwards for his demands. I mean, what you do with Joe Lieberman is you put him out on an island. You take away all his committee chairs, and you say, sorry, sucker, you've backstabbed us enough times, but you don't get a clue. You don't get a clue. Harry Reid doesn't have a clue. And I mean, speaking of Harry Reid, guy absolutely has no clue. He's easily the worst Senate majority leader there's ever been. I mean, what he just said, what was it, last week or the week before? I mean, sorry, the intolerance and segregation terminology of the 50s wants its words back, calling African Americans Negroes. What fucking decade does that guy live in? I mean, it's so absolutely ridiculous. You can only be, right now, when you think about politics, you can only be really pissed off right now because Obama's failed. The progressive movement is so uninspired right now, taken for granted, disillusioned. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous that it's come to this after all the promises and all the hype. I mean, that saying of "fool me once, shame on you." Yeah, you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Do not donate to any of these placating Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party right now is right-wing middle, and the Republicans are extreme right-wing. And there's this huge space that is completely unrepresented right now. And that's why a third party absolutely needs to be formed. And I mean, progressive party needs to be formed, because the educated, the more informed you are, the more likely that you're going to lean towards the progressive movement. And I mean, we need a new leader. The leader that I hope to see is someone like Rachel Maddow. I seriously wish Rachel Maddow would run for president in 2012, because he needs and debate Obama, because she would school him big time. And Rachel Maddow, and then her running mate, could be a whole host of people. But I mean, we need someone like Rachel Maddow or some other leader in the Progressive Party, because we are absolutely not represented right now. And it is so infuriating that it is. And you just got to stop taking us for granted, because I know it's less convenient to be a Democratic leader, because your constituents are actually more thoughtful people that aren't going to commit to your brand and do or die like the Republicans, like the NASCAR side, that once they're branded, they're set. Republicans can take their constituents for granted, and then all they have to do is focus on suppressing the voter and blocking people's votes and manipulation and misinformation, because that's how Republicans win. But with Democrats, you got thinking individuals that actually that want results. And when you don't deliver results, you want to inspire us. I mean, the Republicans, their whole mantra is less government, destroy government. It's like on the verge of being anarchy. You know, once it gets into the extreme parts of these teabaggers and everything. And why would you if you're going to put someone who wants to destroy government in office, you know what happens? The whole crash of the economy and our foreign policy and the whole huge clusterfuck around the world. Yeah, George W. Bush and Dick Cheney is exactly what happens when you put people that want to give you less government and basically steal the coffers, corruption, and all the scandals that happened in the last decade that still have. And speaking of such, the Obama administration is defending Addington and John Woo, the attorneys that advised Dick Cheney for justifying torture. What the fuck are you doing? I mean, seriously, how in the world do you justify your main cheering points at your rallies? Because, yeah, I went to support you in Seattle and Washington, D.C. Your biggest cheering point was, I'm going to restore the Constitution, and I'm going to bring peace to the country and stop these wars in Iraq and everything. You haven't done that. Instead, you do the complete opposite. What in the world are you thinking? My time's up, but you need to get a clue. You need to stop taking us for granted, or else the Democrats are going to lose everything.
Perspective Earthian Productions.